Hello everyone, welcome back to Software Testing Learner. So today we'll see an important topic, an introduction to Java. Okay, so we'll begin our automation testing course with Java first. Okay, automation testing course along with Java and Selenium. So we'll begin with Java first. Okay, so let's see what is the Java. Okay, what is what is Java? What is Java? Java is an object-oriented programming language. Programming language. Okay. What is mean by object-oriented programming language? Okay. What is object-oriented programming language? Okay. We are saying Java is an object-oriented programming language, but what is object-oriented programming language? Okay. If any of the programming language, okay, if any of the programming language supports all six all below six features. Okay, what are the below six features? I'll say first, uh, class, object, okay, and then we have polymorphism, okay, and then we have inheritance, okay, and then we have one more thing called abstraction, and then encapsulation. Okay, so if any of the programming language supports all below six features, these six features, okay, then we can call it as object oriented programming language. Okay. So if any of the programming language supports all below six features, these below six features, okay, then we can call it as object-oriented programming language. Okay. So these all six features, these are all called OOPS concepts. Okay. So here we are saying programming language. So what is the meaning of programming? How many types of programming languages we have? Okay. So here we are saying if any of the programming language, right? Let's see what are the types of programming languages we have. Okay. What are different programming languages that will support these six features? That we will see. Okay. So now types of programming languages. Okay. Types of programming languages. So we have three types. First one is structural programming language. Okay. And second one is object-based programming language. Okay. And then other one, object-oriented programming language. Okay. So what is structure-based programming language? Okay, let's see the first one, structural programming language. What is meaning of structural programming language? Let's see this. Okay, what is structural programming language? Okay, structural programming language does not support structural programming language does not support any of the features, any of the OOPS concepts, or we can say these features. Okay, any of these features, these 6 features. Any of the below 6 features. But we can still write the a program. Okay. So structural programming language does not support any of these 6 features, but we can still write the program. Okay. But they don't support all these concepts. Okay. So languages that support here are languages that support the structural programming language. The languages that supports here. Here means structural programming language, which are C and Python. Okay, C and Python. These are the 2 languages that will support here in structural programming language. That means in C and Python, we can write a program without these 6 features. Okay, we can write a program without these 6 features. Okay. So the second one, what is the second one? Object-based programming language. Object-based programming language. Okay, what is object-based programming language? So if any programming language supports all the 6 features. Sorry, this is if any programming language, sorry, this is for object oriented. Object based means if any of the programming language supports only class and objects. Supports only class and objects. Then we can call it as object-based programming language. Okay, object-based programming language. That means it will support class and the other one is object. Okay, it will support only these 2. Okay, an object-based programming language, it will support only 2 features. What are those? Class and object. So languages that support here in object-based programming language. Okay, what are the languages that will support here? C++. Sorry, not in C++. It is VB script, VB script, and Python. C++ will support the object-oriented programming language, not the object-based. So that will come in the next one. Okay. So the languages that support here are VB script, and Python. So these are the languages that will support. Okay. So the next one, which is third one, object-oriented programming language. Okay, what is object-oriented programming language? The object-oriented programming language, it is nothing but if any programming language supports all below 6 features, then we can call all 6 features. Then we can call it as object-oriented oriented programming language. Okay, object oriented programming language. Okay, what are the 6 features that will support here? These are the 6 features. Okay, if any programming language which supports all 6 features, then we can call it as an object oriented programming language. Okay, so now let's see which are the languages that will support object oriented programming language. Languages that support here. What are the languages that will support here? C++, Java, C Sharp, and then Python. So these are the different languages that will support object-oriented programming language. Okay. So if you can observe in all the above 3 programming languages, these 3 programming languages, one is object-oriented, object-based, and structural programming. If you can see all these 3 programming languages, Python is common. Okay, Python is common here. So if you can see here, we have written Python. Here we have written Python. In structural also we have written Python. So what is the meaning of this? Okay, that means in Python we can write a program without class and object. We can write a program only using class and object. We can write a program using class, object, polymorphism, inheritance, abstraction, and encapsulation. Using these 3 possibilities, using these 3 programming languages. Okay, so we can write a Python code. Okay, we got an idea, right? What object-oriented programming language is. Okay, object-oriented programming language is nothing but if any programming languages that supports all 6 features. Okay, then we can call it as object-oriented programming language. Okay, so without here, there is one more point to understand. Without creating a class, okay, in Java, without creating a class, we cannot write in Java without creating a class. We cannot write a single line of code. Okay, we cannot write a single line of code. Okay, that is why it is called as object-oriented programming language. Okay, so hope it is clear now. We got an idea like what is object-oriented programming language. Okay, and we can discuss these 6 features later. These are called OOPS concepts. So these features we can discuss in further sessions in detail. Okay, so now let's see what are the features of Java. What are the features of Java? The first feature is platform independent. Platform independent. What is the meaning of platform independent? Platform independent means we can install Java on any type of operating system. Okay, we can install Java on any type of operating system. Okay, that means what are different operating systems we have? It is like Linux, okay, and then Windows. Linux is an operating system, and Windows is one operating system. And then we have Mac. Mac is an operating system, and then Unix. Unix is also one of the operating system. Okay, so we can install Java on any type of operating system. There is no restriction like we have to install Java in Linux, or we have to install Java on Windows, or we have to install Java on Mac, and we have to install Java on Unix. So there is no such restriction. We can install on any type of operating system. Okay, so Java is a platform independent, and there is one more point. let's suppose if you write Java program on Windows, okay, the same program we can execute on other operating system. Okay, let's suppose I have written a code on Linux in Linux operating system. The same code, without doing any modification, the same code we can execute in Windows also. Okay, the same code can be executable in Windows. The same code is executable in Mac. The same code will be executable in Linux. When we write something on Windows, it will be executable in Linux. Okay, when we write something on Mac, it will be executable on Linux. When we write something on Unix, it will be executable in Windows. So there is no such restriction. Okay, and we no need to change the code also. We no need to change the code. The same code we can execute in other operating system. Okay, that is called as platform independent. Okay, that is called as platform independent. Hope you got these 2 points. Okay, first is we can install Java on any type of operating system, which is Linux, Windows, Mac, or Unix, anything. Okay, any operating system. Okay, and if you have written some code in some Java program in one window, okay, or Windows or same anything like any operating system you can write, the same program can be executed in other operating systems as well. Okay, the same program we can execute in other operating system. Okay, that is called platform independent. Okay, next we have one more piece feature which is case sensitive. Okay, what is case sensitive? Case sensitive is nothing but in Java it will differentiate. In Java it will differentiate lowercase and uppercase. In Java it will differentiate lower and uppercase character. Lower and uppercase character. That means it will consider lowercase and uppercase character differently. Okay, that means which is something called as case sensitive. Okay, which is something called as case sensitive. That means I'll show one example. Let's take one example. I'll take x is equals to 10. Okay, and then let's suppose capital X is equals to 10. So in Java, both are different. Small x and capital X are not same. Both are different. Okay. In Java will consider x small x is a different variable and the capital X is a different. Both are not same. Okay, that's why we can call it as a case sensitive. Lowercase and uppercase are different in Java. Okay, so these are the two features we have in Java. Okay, any doubts or anything here? Okay, so we'll move to the next topic, which is components, different components in Java. Components in Java. Okay, basically there are three components in Java. Okay, they are first one JDK and the second one JRE and third one JVM. So what is JDK? JDK is Java Development Kit. Okay, what is JRE? Java Runtime Environment. And what is JVM? Java Virtual Machine. Okay, so these are the three components, three different components we have in Java. Okay. Now, what is JDK? Let's say about the JDK, the first one. What is JDK? So JDK is nothing but this is a full-fledged software. Okay. This is a full-fledged Java software. JDK is full-fledged Java software. Okay. Suppose why we are saying this JDK is a full-fledged software. Suppose if you wanted to download Java software from internet, let's suppose. Okay. So you have to download the JDK file only. Okay. So you won't be able to see Java or something else. We won't be able to see. We can see only JDK file. Okay, Java file or something like a Java download. Nothing. It won't be like that. It will be something called JDK file. We have to download the JDK file only. So here JDK is representing full-fledged complete Java software. Okay. So full-fledged complete Java software which will represent or which will download and to install. We have to download and install. And that represents Java. Okay. So what is the use of JDK? What we can do when we have JDK? Okay. So if we wanted to write any program, or if we wanted to execute any program, or if we wanted to develop any program, then we wanted to download and install JDK. Okay. Then we wanted to download and install JDK. Okay. So that is about JDK. So JDK, what is JDK? JDK is a full-fledged Java software. So once we download the JDK file, that means we can come to a conclusion like we have complete Java in our system. We have to download. Only download is not sufficient. We have to install as well. Okay. Once we download, we have to install as well. Okay. No. Now let's go to second one, which is JRE. JRE is Java Runtime Environment. What is the meaning of JRE? For suppose, for suppose there is an application which is already developed. Okay, there is a application which is already developed by using Java itself. Okay, by using Java itself. Now, I want to download that application and install that application in local system. I want to download that application and install that application in local system. Okay, so to install that application, we need to run the application, right? Okay, so for to run the application, we have to provide some environment that is called Java Runtime Environment. That means I'll explain it in another way. Let's suppose I have an application or I have written some code. Let's assume that I have written some code in uh, using Java. Okay. Now I wanted to execute that in my local system. So I don't need to write anything. I wanted to execute the which is already developed code. Okay. So to run that which is already developed code, or which is already developed application, we can say. Then we have to show some environment to that. So that is called Java Runtime Environment. Okay, that is called Java Runtime Environment. Okay, so here JRE is subpart of JDK. That means I'll explain this in other way. JRE is, let's suppose, this is JDK. Okay, then we have this is, okay, let me remove this. So I'll draw this in another way. This is, let's suppose this is JDK. JDK. This is JDK. Okay, this is JDK. So now we'll be having JRE and then we'll be having JVM like this. Okay, that means This is JRE. Okay, JRE. And this one is called JVM. JV. Okay. So JDK, JRE, JVM. So here when we see this diagram, we can come to a conclusion. JRE is a subcomponent of JDK. Okay. JRE is subcomponent of JDK. So if you don't want to write a program in real scenarios, if you don't want to write a program, but still you wanted to execute already developed code, then we can install only JRE. Okay, here JDK is not required. If you have JDK, then we can write also. But if you wanted to only execute the program, then we can go with only we can provide the environment which is called Java runtime environment. That will help us to execute the program. And it won't allow us to write. Okay, that is the use of JRE. Okay, now we have one more thing which is called the last one. Java run virtual machine, JVM. Okay, JVM, Java virtual machine. So what is the meaning of JVM, Java virtual machine? What is the meaning of this? No. So in the name itself, we can come to a conclusion. Virtual means invisible. Virtual means what is virtual? Virtual means invisible. Okay. So Java virtual machine, that is JVM is the main component of Java. JVM, here it is JVM is main component of Java. Java is nothing but JDK. Okay, JVM is part of JRE. If you can observe this one, this is JVM, this is JRE. So JVM is part of JRE. Okay, JVM is not separate part of or not separate piece to install. Okay, or not separate software to install. So by default, the JVM comes along with JRE. Well, if you have JRE, then definitely we'll be having JVM also. We cannot install JVM separately, but we can install JRE separately. So we can do two things. Either we can install JDK, which will represent the full-fledged Java software, or we can install JRE to execute the already developed code or developed application. We can use JRE. So by the time when we are installing JRE, JVM will come by default. So alone JVM we cannot install. Okay, JVM is not a software that we can install alone. Either it should come with JDK or JRE. Okay. Okay. And JVM is useful to converting the programming code to bytecode. This is very important. What JVM will do? JVM is converting programming code to bytecode. Okay. So what is the meaning of this line, this sentence? So JVM is converting programming code to bytecode. So whatever the Java code will be writing. Okay. What JVM will do? JVM will convert. Okay. JVM will convert that into a main bytecode. That means let's suppose we have written some code. Let's suppose I'll write some code. Okay. Here I'll write some code, which is class class A. I'll write something here like, so I'll define some variables int A is equals to 10. Okay. B is equals to 20 like this. Okay, and I'll print some statements. Okay, so inside class, I'll write some main method, public static void main of string and args. And then here I'll print both system dot println of A. And here I'll write one more thing, system dot out dot println of B. Okay. So this. So if you can observe here, if you can observe in this code, so all we have written in a plain Java, plain English we have written. This program we have written in a plain English. So class, which is English word already. So most of the things we have written in English. So byte sorry. So here this program is written in English language. So what bytecode means? So bytecode will be understandable by any machine. Okay, so it can be developed, it can be like any type of operating system. So the bytecode is actually executing internally by Java, and who is converting this? JVM is converting this. Okay, what JVM will do? JVM will convert this programming code, okay, which is in English. Okay, this programming code which is in English, it will convert into bytecode. What is the meaning of bytecode? Bytecode is nothing but machine understandable lang code that is in the form of one and zeros, zero and ones. Okay, JVM will convert this programming code to bytecode. Okay, that means JVM will first what JVM will do? JVM will is responsible for compiling the code. It will check whether the code which we have written is as per the Java standards or not. Whether we have used Java keywords or not. Okay, so those things will get checked by JVM. Okay, if there is any deviation, or if there is any error, or if the any of the statement is incorrect, if it is not as per the Java standard or Java keywords, then it will throw an error. We can easily identify that error. It will directly show the error in the Eclipse itself, like in the while writing in Java file itself. In Eclipse, in Java file itself, it will show. Okay, that is called compile time error. That we can discuss later, but that we can call it as compile time error. That means during the compilation time only we will be getting that error. Okay, so that is about JVM. So now we get an idea, right? So JDK is a full-fledged software. Okay, so once we download the JDK and install it on our local, then we can say JDK is, that means Java is installed. Okay, if we have JDK, we'll be getting JRE and JVM by default. Okay, and then if you wanted to execute, so using JDK, we can write the program, we can execute the program. But using JRE, we can only execute the already developed application using Java. Okay, using JRE, what I'll do, I'll execute my application, which is built by using Java. So along with JRE, we'll be getting JVM also. JVM is not a software that we can install alone. So JVM is something that we cannot install alone. It should be part of JRE for sure. Once JRE is there, then we can come to a conclusion like, okay, JVM will also be there. Okay, so JDK also we can install separately, which will come together as a package, or JRA also we can install, which will come along with the JVM. Okay, so this is about JDK, JRE, and Java, JVM, three components of Java. Okay, so now we are saying Java, right? So Java is divided into two types. One is core Java, and the second one is advanced Java, advanced Java. So for testing, right, core Java concepts are more than enough. Advanced Java concepts are not required mostly. So only core Java concepts are fine. Okay, we can mostly discuss about the core Java concepts for automation testing. Okay, so this is about the introduction to Java. Next, we'll see the environment setup. Okay, that means how to install Java and what other software is required. We need mostly Java and Eclipse we need. Okay, how to install. So in environment setup, we'll see two things. We'll see two things. One is Java, and the second one Java or JDK also we can say, and the second one is IDE. Mostly the IDE is Eclipse, Eclipse or IntelliJ IDE. Okay, anything. Any most of the Visual Studio, many IDs are there. Okay, so Java mostly will be using with Eclipse. Okay, if you are using Maven project, right, then definitely go with Eclipse. If you are using Gradle project, then go with the IntelliJ. Okay, mostly we'll be using for Selenium with Java, right? Mostly we'll be using these two IDs only. Okay, in these sessions, we'll install Eclipse and we can do all these operations on Eclipse IDE only. Okay, so now how to install Java? I have mentioned all the steps in the notes. Since I have already installed my laptop, I'll show the notes. So you'll get some idea on this. Okay, 1 second. So now I'll show the notes here. How, yeah, this is about, yeah. So in today's notes, we have seen what is Java, what is object-oriented programming language. Okay, and what are the types of programming languages we have seen. Right, what are types of programming languages, structured programming languages, okay, object-based programming language, object-oriented programming language, okay. So what is the definitions of those and why that is those things are useful, and what is the feature of Java, okay. What are the tool features we have? So one is platform independent and the other one is case sensitive, okay. And then we have components. There are three components in Java. What are those? JDK, JRE, and JVM. Okay, what is JDK? JDK is nothing but Java Development Kit. And what is JRE? JRE is nothing but Java Runtime Environment. And what is JVM? JVM is nothing but Java Virtual Machine. Okay, so that we have seen. Okay, and then after that we have environment setup. So what we need? We need two things here in to execute Java. One is, as we discussed, we need JDK software. Since we are writing the program, executing the program, everything we will be doing, right? All the operations. So we will install the full-fledged software, JDK. Okay. And then we can in these sessions, right, we'll use Eclipse IDE. Okay, in automation also we'll use Maven project. So Eclipse IDE will take. Eclipse IDE will install. Okay. So I have given the detailed notes here to install the Java and Eclipse. Okay, we'll go through once. So Java, since Java 1 to 8 versions, so it was developed by Sun Microsystems after Java 9, from 9 to the version still now. Okay, that has been developed by Oracle. Okay, so from 11 plus Java 11 plus version, any of the version, I mean after 11 plus version, any version is compatible with Selenium. Okay, the latest one is around 25 now, so we can install any version. Latest version is also sufficient. Anything is okay. So how to download? So in Google, search download JDK, and then in this URL you can see click on Java download. This URL we have to click on. Okay, and then let's download this. Okay, so if you ask for any sign up and all, so you can do the sign up here. Okay, the exe file is downloaded, running installer. So the complete setup by clicking on next. Okay, we can complete. Once JDK install, then we have to set the Java path. Okay, we have to set the Java path. I'll show once. So in google.com, download JDK. So this is the first URL we have to click. I just gave the same thing here, first URL. Okay, this one. So here, when you little scroll down, so we can see some versions here. The latest version. What is the latest version? Java JDK 25. See, JDK 21 is there, and then JDK 25 we have next. Right. So we can take Java 25. Anything. Java 21 also is sufficient. Okay. So based on this operating system, so I'm using Windows. Based on your operating system, you can download this. So I'll take this one, exe file directly. x64 installer exe file. Okay, this we can copy paste in the URL and it will get download the exe file. Okay, if you ask for any sign up and all, you can do the sign up. Okay, and continue proceeding on the downloading this JDK file. Okay, so how to set the path? So I have given here also I have given some in detail steps. So go to my computer, right click on this PC and go to advanced settings, advanced system settings and system property. Click on environment variables. Okay, and then system variables. Click on system variables. On that, click on edit and add path. Under the path, you can add that bin path and then click on apply. Okay, once it is installed, we have to copy the bin path, JDK version. So this is the path. We have to go to C drive, program files, Java, JDK 1.9, bin, copy the path. Okay, from there we can copy the path. And we can add it here in the system variable. Under the path variable, we can add. Once it is added, you can just click on apply and click on OK. Okay. So now, after successfully install Java, we just need to check, right, whether we have installed the Java or not, whether Java is getting executed or Java is getting successfully installed or not. We need to check. So for that, we can write Java space hyphen version. It will give the version of that Java that is installed. Okay, that also we can do. If it returns something, the version, then we can say it is okay, Java is installed. If it did not return anything, then we missed something in the installation, Java installation. So we have to recheck the steps which we followed again. Okay, so that is about the Java installation. Okay, and now next we have to install IDE also, right? So Eclipse IDE. Okay, so I have given again the detailed steps. So search for Google. In Google, we can search download Eclipse IDE. Download Eclipse. Okay, download Eclipse. So here go to this Eclipse Foundation, Eclipse downloads. Here we can go. So we can install. Okay, I need Java X864 version, so I can download this one. Okay, it will ready to download and it will download this one. Okay, and then we can install this. Okay, once it is installed, we can select the Java IDE for developers and we can create a workspace. And then how to create a file, this and all we can see in the next class. Okay, till the installation we have seen, and then how to install how to create a workspace, how to create a project, and then those things we can see in the next class. Okay, I'll share these notes. Okay. Okay, that's it for today's class. Okay, thank you.